Dice Paper Roll is made on the traditional lands of the Yagara, Bunurong, and Wurundjeri people. We would like to pay our respects to their elders, past and present. Always was, always will be, Aboriginal land.
You were warned. And now you cannot turn back. You entered this realm at your own risk. Your choices here make waves. And those waves crash and grow and reflect, growing more powerful with every pass. There is only one way to escape. You must defeat him. But he is already hunting you. He knows you. He can already taste your soul. Night creeps in, stealing the weak light as the sun limps beyond a horizon cloaked by dark, scudding clouds. The towering Volakovich Manor stands tall above the roofs of Valakai, its long shadow covering the town it rules. The dying light barely illuminates a carriage bumping down the road toward the western gates. The townsfolk scurry back to their homes or the church, seeking safety from the horrors of the night. They rightfully fear what awaits in the shadows. A testament to this fear are the empty houses, their gaping doorways showing interiors bereft of life or laughter. The doors of these empty homes creak and groan in the wind, like the haunted voices of the lost. Haunted voices that whisper, DPR, Curse of Strahd.
That was creepy. If the houses are empty, who's making the sounds? Oh, I got the willies. I was kind of waiting for someone else to take the intro, but just ended up with a big, long moment's silence.
New year, new intro. Nope.
I was taking a moment's silence there for Eddie Maguire's career, lest we forget.
What a proud and historic day.
Oh, geez. Hey, it's episode 21 of Curse of Strahd. Is that right? 21? I think it is.
20?
Yes.
22?
No, 21.
22.
22.
Bloody
22.
hell.
22.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Happy Valentine's
Happy
Day.
Valentine.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day to you.
Yeah. I couldn't think of anyone I'd rather be spending it with. And I can say that because my girlfriend will not listen to this podcast. True. Very
Yes,
true.
my boyfriend won't listen to it either. Yeah.
No, well,
Will anyone's partners listen to this?
No.
Are they spending
No.
Valentine's Day
Yeah.
together?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why we're spending
They are.
Valentine's Day together, because
Whilst we
our partners
podcast, they date.
take no interest in our activities.
My partner's like my stuff, just not the nerdy stuff. There's a line, you know? D&D seems to be over it.
It does.
Bridge too far.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's a toll at the bridge and a troll underneath the bridge. So we'll get him if you don't pay it. So
And you have to roll a D20.
you have to role play to get over the bridge. That's the thing.
Mm.
Ah, well,
Not everyone's into that.
maybe next year.
Yeah, we're not quite up to group role play yet, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is Dice Paper Roll, and we're doing Curse of Strahd. If you haven't picked that up already, it's episode 21 of A Vampire Adventure. Episode 22 of A Vampire Adventure. Episode 21, part 2 of A Vampire Adventure.
Nice save.
And go. Seamless. I am Emil, and I play Sonny Bono, who is a sentient sword. He's actually an energy sword as well. So a lot of the time he just looks like a hilt, and then every now and again somebody deigns to tickle his pommel, and all of a sudden his energy beam is activated, and he also tends to kind of take over people's mind, not in a weird way, just those of weak will, perhaps, or maybe those who need a bit of excitement in their life and decide to go on a quest, or don't decide because I decide for them because I start to roll, act for them. Look, the ethics on this it's a vampire game, okay? So I think the lines kind of blurred a bit. How much evil is too much evil? That's the question. That's what we'll find out by the end of the season.
If
How
that
much evil
person
is too much
dies, do
evil.
you die?
No. Just their bone. Just their
Okay, good.
Yeah. I'm fine. I've been living for years. Yeah.
No fear of death for Sonny.
Yeah. He's currently puppet master to the carriage driver, a tall, gangly fella in oilskins and top hat. The top hat's a bit frayed, a bit more frayed than a new one would be. His boots look a little worn. And he's whipping some old nags who look a little bit worse for wear. Upon closer inspection, the carriage is a bit rickety, a bit weather blown, and a bit wormwood ravaged. Put that in the right spot. There you go. And that's me.
Greg will use that later.
On to the next character.
My name is Ben, and I play Ragyog, the Goblin Cleric of Lathander. And Ragyog is seated in the back of this carriage. When standing, about 3.5 feet tall, little squat, round, flat face with an underbite and little fangs that jut up. Usually pretty droopy features, big round eyes and droopy eyelids, but was savaged by a werewolf about 24 hours or so ago. It's really shaken him, and he did a bit of a bodge job of healing himself, and now it's kind of left a scar on his right eye and his mouth that kind of makes it look like he's a bit happy and smiling. And trust me, he's not. He's got long, matted, greasy, black, thin hair that hangs out of what was a dirty cloth skull cap, but in the background shopping that Greg instructed we do, Ragyog got his skull cap cleaned.
Off-screen shopping trip.
Yeah, off-screen shopping trip. And it's actually looks more now like a little swimming cap, which he's gotten some of the dirt and shit out, and he's able to tie it down around his face because he's ashamed of his scars.
You're wearing like a babushka kind of cloth around your chin.
You've got a bonnet on. It's a converted child's bonnet.
Yeah, and it's in the colours of Lathander, which are gold and rose and violet. And there's a little sun on the centre of the forehead. But also going with the covering up the scars theme, he's gotten a pair of sunglasses just to cover up. And he found a handy traveling companion called the Friendless Traveler, which is, Ragyog used to be a tour guide and running.
Sorry, was that your nickname or?
Yes. Yeah. It was a partnership, a business partnership I had when I was a tour guide. I knew who to come to get a tour guide book for the region.
Oh yeah, how was business?
Yeah, it's pretty
popping.
Oh, it's going on.
Come for tourism tours with the Friendless Traveler. You'll have a good time, guaranteed.
He's super chatty, by the way.
Yeah. Ragyog's currently got that open on the back seat of the carriage with his glasses up, and he's run out of his bugs that he used to eat out of the jar. So he's replaced the bugs, and the jar is full of garlic breath mints.
Mhm.
Do they do a roaring trade back in what town we were in just in?
Well, no, I was in
Valakai.
the Friendless Traveler. It said that vampires don't like garlic. So Ragyog is prepared, motherfuckers.
Nobody else is for that within their vicinity.
No, they're really tasty, guys. Ragyog has a growing sense. He didn't like becoming a cleric, I don't think. Well, no, he didn't. I know he didn't because he's my character. But he's growing to like it, and he's growing in power. And Lathander does not like the undead. So
Or Ragyog.
Ragyog's on a mission. Well, Lathander loves me. Strahd's got to go.
Somebody has to.
It is Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I've also got a rose in my inner pocket of my vest that I gave myself.
Yeah. In a prayer to your
Aw.
God, on Valentine's Day, do you make a little, have a little tender moment with your God?
Oh,
So-
Lathander, praise be to you on this blessed day of loving one another, and may your love shine down on all the lonely souls who follow you, but mostly me. Amen.
Now, what are you wearing?
Message read.
Message read. Message seen.
Are the three dots coming back? No.
No, they start and then they immediately stop.
Then they disappear.
Yeah, everything
You
about
get a
Ragyog.
GIF in the morning.
That is just old mate from Brooklyn Nine-Nine going, cool. That's me.
I'm Dan. I play Hans von Such and Such of the Such and Such family. Hans has a ever-expanding backstory. I'm constantly writing more and more to add to his family lineage. But Hans, for those who don't know, is a half-orc blood hunter. So he's kind of gone for a bit of a Van Helsing kind of vibe. He's fully decked out in very tight-fitting leather. There's lots of buckles all over his torso and on his arms, and there's no need for these buckles, and they're kind of weird, but they're there and they look cool. He has a big leather hat and a leather cape, and a new shiny silvered scimitar that sits at his side from our off-screen shopping that had no discernible how much we could spend. So he's gone with the silvered scimitar.
Now you've said it, it's
Damn it, I didn't know
It's
you
canon.
could do that.
We never clarified that before, but we tried having the conversation and now it's in.
The shopkeeper was like, it is definitely an ornamental sword. You should definitely not use this in combat. Under no circumstances is this to be used in any sort of fight.
This is just a prop.
It will shatter in 2 seconds.
Hang on wall, maybe. That's it. Unless actually
You
don't hang
hit another sword, it break, okay? It's not good.
It's
What a bargain.
plaster of Paris underneath. That's what it is.
I love this sword. I'm going to use it everywhere I
It's a
go.
retractable blade.
Due to budgetary cutbacks, we've had to appoint Peter as a various NPCs. So you may see him pop up here and there, selling wares or doing various other jobs. Just a
Fantastic.
quick heads up.
I
Mostly
always thought he was the
flashbacks.
work experience vampire anyway, right?
Yeah, he's on rotation. He's on rotation.
We don't pay
He
him.
did the counting. Now he's selling wares.
Hey, you try working as a vampire in the gig economy. It's not so easy. You take the work where it is.
This is not Peter's introduction. Fuck off, Peter.
Honestly,
I changed my
though,
voice.
letter opening only.
But Hans originally came across the party in search of his half brother Bertrand, who went missing within the first couple of episodes, and stumbled across a merry band of travelers, adventurers who had seen Bertrand and then promptly forgotten where they had seen him. So in hopes of finding his half-brother, has joined the party, and I have a feeling he will never find his brother's whereabouts. But also he has been under the spell of that devilishly good-looking Strahd. He has been charmed, and some would say it's a curse, but not Hans. No, Hans is really enjoying his time with old
Welcome
man
to
Nightshade.
DPR does Charm of Strahd.
Assuming that this is Valentine's Day. This is going to get hot and steamy. You strap yourself in. But yes, he is charmed and is currently trying to plot his way to stealing Irina and bringing her back to the vampire Strahd. So, still working away, but at the moment he's kind of just like, he overstepped. He's kind of stepped back a little bit. He's just trying to be everyone's, cool friend. So, welcome to Hans's story.
Hans has got about 36 hours of charm left on him too. He's got a fair way to go before he's out from under that.
Strahd's a hell of a guy.
Mm-mm.
Oh, you
What a
don't have to
ledge.
tell me.
My name's Lauren, and I am playing two characters because I am twice as talented as everybody else. No, that's a big lie. I just wanted to bulk out the cast. Also due to budget cuts.
Hey,
So?
twice as talented as most of us. Come on.
Yeah, okay. So she is me. I'm playing. Where's my third person at?
So
I'm also playing Lauren.
give it to a character. She thinks she's God.
Oh God, I'm getting confused already. But the first character is Apumia Phosphine, or you can call her Mo. She is currently hitched underneath the carriage, but she's found a little nook where she's just kind of like chilling out underneath in the carriage. Doesn't have to hold on anymore, but she kind of likes it down there, despite it's kind of quite bumpy or whatever. But she prefers in this circumstance not to be seen. And she's kind of away with the fairies, actually. She's kind of been in a bit of a trance from all the, the bibbing and bobbing of the carriage is kind of,
Did you say she's
kind of like when you have,
carriage?
yeah.
How are her
she's,
handholds given the wormwood, The
Well,
woodworm?
yeah, she was like kind of strapped in, and then she sort of found like a way that she can just sort of lie on the side of one of the planks of wood that's between the front and the back wheels. So she's
classic cart design.
put herself in a little nook under there, basically, so she can like it's like turbulence. She's kind of it's made her feel a bit sort of sleepy, and she's just sort of caught up in a bit of a daydream about. She's just sort of thinking back to things right before she even met any of these people and came to these lands. She had a best friend called Joe. It was Joe and Mo. And her and Joe actually were a vaudeville duo. And we used to do show tunes. And that's what we called it. It was Mo and Joe's show. And and we
Down
used
at
to...
the Kokomo?
Yeah, it was. The Kokomo, which is a boat on a moat.
Did it float?
A floating boat in a moat called the Kokomo, where Joe and Mo would do their show.
Do the Mojo show.
And one,
Gee, I gotta go.
Oh, it's here
Wow.
in the Friendless Traveler's Guide, guys. It's got 6.5 skulls.
but Joe died.
Can you give us a
Joe
blow by
drowned.
blow? Oh, sorry.
Joe did a lot of blow that night and fell
no.
overboard.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yes. And since then, Mo has tried to find a new partner in crime, but no one could do the box step the same way that Joe
whoa.
could. And she is actually very afraid of friends. And sort of through the time has kind of felt like these guys have warmed the cockles of her heart, but she still keeps it very guarded. And sort of that's why she likes partying so much. She kind of likes losing herself in a crowd of people because then she doesn't feel alone. So she wears her little bowler hat, which she got a shine on, but not too much shine because it is a steampunk and it still needs to look old. So got a little brass copper shine on that. And it's sitting on top of her head. She has like quite a small kind of pixie looking face. Her hair she cuts herself. But when we did our off-screen shopping, Irina took her to get a haircut, and now she's got like a cool kind of mullet, sort of shaggy look, which she really likes. Got a little shampoo and a cut and color.
Letting it flow.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and her clothes are like just kind of layered different kinds of clothes on top of each other, like a half a shirt here, a fingerless glove there. To create the illusion of many different layers of clothing on her. But just to kind of, really push forward the fact that she needs to conceal herself with many layers, much like an onion.
I don't want to call that look
so
the Johnny Depp
that's-
anymore, but it's kind of the Johnny Depp, right?
Much like an
It's
onion.
kind of a
when you
Johnny
peel
Depp
off
look.
Yeah.
The layers, it makes you cry.
Yes,
Doesn't smell
it
like
does.
onion.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it smells like garlic because she's sitting near you.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I like the half a shirt. I just kind of visualized it as like one actual half of a buttoned-up shirt. So there's only one side that was completely. Anyways,
That's true. She does have a new breastplate as well, courtesy of Irina. So she's actually leveled up her armor class. Thank fuck for that. She's probably going to need that. It's a mithril breastplate,
Oh.
Very nice.
which is
Noisy.
really fancy. She felt sort of a little bit self-conscious buying it again, but Irina was very nice and insisted that she did that. And they had the little spa
Very
day
kind of
together.
your
It was
other
little girls' day. Just hanging out, getting
did she
another.
pay for it as well?
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
That's nice.
Cannon.
it's a
She got that noble money.
It's that treat yourself episode.
So she's bobbing along under the carriage, thinking about her dead friend. A little tear escapes from her cheek, but she wipes it away with one of her rags and is really glad no one saw that. Meanwhile, upstairs, in the I'll keep the other one shorter. Irina Ivanovich, the daughter of the Burgermeister, is looking out the window in the carriage, taking up prime position. She's a noble woman who also has a lot of tragedy in her life. See our previous episodes and work for that backstory. But she has grown powers. She can do things with fire. She's pretty scared of Strahd. There's a lot of turmoil within her. She has strange dreams. She doesn't know what it means. She's spent a lot of time in a lot of blank space in her mind. When she was a child, she couldn't remember things, which makes her not want to trust her own instincts. And therefore, she does trust others a lot more than she trusts herself. But if that is a good thing or a bad thing, I guess the time will tell. She has long, glossy black hair, the clothes of a noble woman, refined, gold tailored, beautiful. She herself is kind of pinched in the face. She's young, but she's seen a lot, and it's right there. She's like one of those people that have come back from war. She could be beautiful, but she's just too traumatized. But there is a small fire of strength within her.
Lauren,
and those are the people I'll be playing.
Her backstory may not have been rhyming, but I am no less invested. So, you can play as many characters you want as far as I'm concerned. That's rich,
Amazing.
vivid, a tapestry.
You're welcome.
And Jack, am playing Louise, who is currently sitting on the back of the carriage, looking out. It's kind of lightly raining, and little droplets of rain are hitting the outer shell of what looks like a diving bell suit. And you can see on her back there's a big shield, and if the camera was to zoom in closer, you would see a hammer and sickle as an insignia on the front of the shield. And she lightly polishes the hammer that she uses in combat while she stares out as the countryside moves away from her. And she thinks of what she came here for. And her thoughts wander of class struggle and the fight of the working class to overthrow the ruling class, the way that that vampires are a representation of all landlords and the systemic
bougie vampires.
The systemic wealth that is built up in these landholders who have never had to pay taxes.
I bet they don't pay legacy tax either.
Yeah, no, they don't. There's no death tax because they don't fucking die.
When you have a leaky sink or something, though, you don't want them to come and fix it because then you invite them into your house and it's all
exactly.
over. Mm.
So they're bad at doing working class jobs, and it's just
They do like a white collar vampires, don't they? Blood shows up better on white than red, to be fair.
It just fills her fishy eyes with rage.
Yeah, you haven't got to the fact that she's a fish yet.
Yeah, so when the camera swings around looking, or it cuts and it's a close up of her face and full
Is it a fish eye
camera
lens,
full camera shot, just fish face. And
Is
not
this
in
to scale? I don't know.
No, because on the IMAX it's very big. It's uncomfortable. It's very fishy.
I got a 19 on that joke, so you know. Look who's laughing now.
She thinks of her friends who are variously strewn across the carriage. Which I guess she calls a cabbage. And she's thinking, am I actually good at this communism thing?
Well, what did Louise do on the capitalist heavy shopping episode of Off Screen that happened?
She was very uncomfortable with the whole thing, so she decided to share her spoils with
Her
Ragyog.
wealth? Right on.
Yeah, her wealth with Ragyog, and they bought a flask of holy water, which she thinks might come in handy.
How long did you haggle for?
She didn't. She thought that
What?
she didn't, because she thought that the guy behind the counter was getting exploited by the workers the boss upstairs.
And Ragyog didn't mind so much because he found like 200 silver in his pocket that he could have sworn he gave to the Burgermeister, but it was there for some reason.
Yeah, and the shopkeeper was just the count, counting all the extra money he got from you. 1, 3.
Thank you, Peter. Time's up.
Gold. I didn't need to. I shall go on. 4.
No, but she thinks that markets can still exist under communism, but just capital and capitalizing on the exploitation of workers is very uncomfortable. But she's figuring it out. She's like chapter 3 of Capital, and I mean Crabital, and she's working her way through. Yeah.
Is that the end of your introduction?
Yeah, that's the end of my introduction. That's pretty much the episode. Hey. Yeah,
It fades to black and white on the shot of the fish woman. The camera pans right back. You see the
not one of those
reverse
flashback
diving
episodes.
suit filled with water, and the fish in the front of the helmet glass thing, and it says Finn.
Yeah.
What did I roll on that? Let me see. What did I roll on that?
Get out.
that was
14. Rolled a 14.
Yeah, that was about a
Feels
14
about
of a joke.
representative.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see that you rolled a 14. I got a notification.
Yeah, so can I.
Yeah, well,
Wow,
What?
that's
It's
Not
something
cheating the
new.
rolls, not cheating the dice.
Should we mention the fact that we have children with us as well?
I
Or
just
should
think we should
leave
start playing
them?
because it's been half an hour and we haven't done anything.
I'm just checking the canon. That's all. I'm just checking the canon.
Are the kids in the
Yeah.
canon or?
I'll talk about the kids. Sure, I play them, I guess. My name is Greg Pickering, and I am the dungeon master for DPR Does Curse of Strahd, and I play everybody else, including Freak and Myrtle, the two children that have been adopted by Irina. So Freak is.
I think it's fair to say at this point that she's been adopted. They've been adopted by the party a little bit. You know, let's not leave all the child rearing to the one of three female characters.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, yeah, that's a great point. Although I will point out that Irene is the only character really to interact in any meaningful way.
That's
Excuse
wrong.
me.
Hans had a good chat with Myrtle by the fire.
I'm a sword, and I was picked up by Freak, and I took over.
Yes,
his
You
body.
possessed the
I
shit out of
possessed
him.
the shit out of that kid for a while. So
Both excellent examples, gentlemen. Very well done.
You know.
Thank you.
Great examples of scaring and taking over the minds of children. So,
Good consensual.
Freak and Myrtle
shouldn't this
seem
fail
to
as well? So I
have
guess.
grown in maturity over the only few days that they've been with the party. They both have mousy brown hair and brown eyes, and the pale skin of Barovians as this very little son. And they're very happy to be with you. They've never eaten so well or been so happy, been so safe or felt so safe in all their lives. And they are sitting up the front of this magnificent stretch carriage that you are riding through town, pulled by four of the Burgomaster's finest horses.
No, they're nags. Remember from my introduction.
Yeah, no, they are
Listen,
also
Greg, come on.
the only four horses that the Burgomaster has. So they're old and slightly knackered. So they're pulling the very heavy stretch carriage, which is been painted black and gilt and has very curly, sort of gross fluting on the outside, and while it's been painted up to look good, it's actually a creaking wormwood mess, which
It's wormwood. It
thuds
also has
along-
worm, which is the worrying thing.
which yes, wormwood and wood, like it's a match made in heaven, being that it's the end of time for the wood. So yeah, it creaks and bumps along the cobbles as it's heading out of town to the west. And because the stockyard is to the east, you have to do the full journey through town. Now, I believe, Sonny, you are driving the carriage.
Yeah,
You got up and put your sunglasses on as
Yep.
Dusk set in and night is drawing in, and the townsfolk are quickly heading to their homes. And as you're driving that carriage, those old nags are they're hard headed. They're not cooperating. Can you give me an animal handling check?
Okay,
Please, Sonny.
the coachman pulls up at a trough and starts to water the horses. And it'll only be a moment, everyone. Just got to give these nags a little bit of a rest. And then he looks around a bit as he's kind of going up with the brush and kind of brushing the horses a little bit. He's giving them a bit of water. He reaches into his coat pocket and pulls out a little bag of powder. And kind of looks left and looks right and leans forward and bit of sugar for you. And he puts the horse's left horse's nose in the bag of powder. Here you go, Clag boy. Come on. And Clag the horse, his nostrils run with water, but he dips his snout ferociously and greedily into the bag of mysterious white powder and snorts a big hoof load of it.
We
Sonny
forgot to mention
proceeds.
that Sonny bought a big bag of booger sugar for horses in a shopping cart.
Of horse nip.
While he's at it, he pulls out a little sponge from his rucksack that's like, it's got dyed. Now he goes through the coachman's rucksack and finds a sponge that's got like black paint on it. He touches up a bit of the paint on the sides of the horses where they're starting to wear off because of the sweat.
Because they've been painted to look better.
Yeah.
Great. How did the animal handling check go?
One of them's actually a cow. That's a 16 on the dice.
Oh, you do all of those things. That's amazing.
He takes a little snifter for himself. His flare pants flap in the breeze as he whips the horses into a frenzy and sets them on their way again.
Oh, brilliant. And as the carriage takes off, it bumps out again and Mo underneath on the board that exists on all carriages between the front and rear axle.
It's called the
where
stow.
the stow board. It creaks and the Mosto. And you're sort of broken from your reverie for a second. And as you do, you look across and you see the bulbous nose of that shifty bloke who tried to sell you a map. And he's also stowed on the other stow board on the other side. And as you see him, he's like, oh, fuck. Made me again, and he rolls off and just falls out under the carriage, and the carriage bumps down through the gloomy town and towards the western gates. And as it approaches, you see the guards hurrying to open the gates for the approaching burgomaster's carriage. And on the right of the gates stands an old church, a church of Lathander. It's a dilapidated and broken down old building. It's slouching, centuries-old stone, has a bulging steeple in the back and walls lined with cracked stained glass windows depicting pious saints. And there's a fence of wrought iron which encloses a garden of gravestones next to the church. And there's like a thin mist that seems to sit on the ground around the gravestones. And warm light spills out from the church through all the windows, and it paints the nearby buildings with colors through the stained glass. And you can see inside there are a number of torches lit, and a group of townsfolk.
Is it nightfall yet? Sorry.
Yeah, it's late. It's very close to full dark. So the sun is behind clouds on the horizon, but only like a thin sliver of light.
Well, Jack got us going
touches.
with the camera. I mean, for the sake of the camera, it'd be better if this was like magic hour, like golden hour. I'm just saying. If we're still going with the visuals and we're using like a 4K, maybe 80 millimeter lens, maybe pull back for a wide shot,
which is great for a podcast, really, isn't it?
I'm just saying.
really.
I'm saying if you set it during magic hour, we're all going to look fucking hot. And it is Valentine's
I mean, is
Day.
that
This could be a
right.
thirst-isode.
DPR Curse of Strahd, episode 22.
DPR does Thirst of Strahd.
So there's a
so
group of
into
villagers inside the church who are huddling together, and they're holding each other they're in a circle. They've all got their arms around each other, and there's the sounds of a hymn, like a verse of a hymn, a snatch of a hymn, floats out of the church and reaches your ears. And
I know this one. It's one of my favorites.
I love gospel.
do you want to join in?
And me as a
Join in,
middle-aged
sing
white
along.
man, I tell you, I was one of the best proponents of gospel you've ever seen.
Wait. I pull out my little Bible of Lathander and I hand it through the window up to Bill, Aka, Sonny, Bono.
Aka Bill.
Yeah, it's hymn number 1782. There you go. And I give it to him on the page and I start singing along. What the fuck is that?
Oh, they're really big into flutes in the.
Got jazz flute.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a church band in there. It's going off.
Yeah.
And what are the words of the hymn sound like?
This?
Yeah, it's all African. I'll translate for you, everyone, what it means. They're saying, "Oh, Lathander, Lord of Morning, in your light, we sing your praise. Oh, Lathander, morning glory. By your strength, we will be saved. Morning glory." What's the story? Cloak us in your healing gaze.
And mercifully, as the carriage rolls past, the church moves away behind you. You could also see that there was a very overweight priest out the front who looked quizzically at the carriage as it rode past. And there's also like a super creepy dude just digging graves in the graveyard. Really big, muscular, sort of hulking guy, but his head is like forward on his shoulders, and he looks up and he has a very jet black hair, which is in an emo fringe over his eyes, and he flicks it out of the way and glares at the carriage as it rolls past. And
Hans gives him the thumbs up as we go by.
The camera.
Irina gives him the finger.
You can do it, buddy.
He flicks a shovel full of dirt
fucked,
after
emo
the carriage.
fringe man.
The camera goes back to the gravedigger guy. Hey, it's me. It's Vladimir in a big muscle suit.
It's Peter. It's Peter.
Of course, it's Peter. In a muscle suit.
The camera cuts to Louise, who quickly folds a copy of the Communist Manifesto into a paper plane and throws it off the back of the carriage in the general direction of the grave digger.
Thunk! It smacks him in the head. He falls into the grave, and the shovel falls down and goes clong.
Those deadly
What a
paper
dummy.
planes. It stabs him right in the eyes, like, oh.
Everyone like in the carriage, like really quickly, like just looks straight forward. Like stops looking in that direction and just like clasp their hands really tightly.
Plausible deniability.
Eyes forward, everybody.
The carriage just bumps over the cobblestones through the gates and onto the dirt road that leads out to the west of Valakai, and it quickly finds the ruts in the road and rolls along into the night, into the growing darkness. And the forest outside the town quickly grows thick and encroaches on the roadway, the branches of the nearby trees crisscrossing above you to create a tunnel of leaves and branches as the carriage rolls on into the night. And whilst old, now that they've been pepped up, these 3 horses and a cow make great time down the dirt road. And as the carriage bumps along, you're all able to sit back and take some real rest. You're able to recharge your batteries. Are you going to drive through the night, Mr. Sonny? Says Freak.
I mean, if I get exhausted, I can just ditch the character, right? And move on to another one. You guys can pick me up. That's the good thing about this non-consensual possession.
Do swords sleep? Do you ever sleep? Do swords sleep?
I mean, if you get lodged in a stone, then you take the time to rest. But aside from that, I like to stay sharp.
There it is.
Oh, you're funny, Mr. Sonny. And as the
Meanwhile, the camera cuts to Ragyog, who's found the piano in the carriage, and he stops playing.
Which also has wormwood.
Just another one of Lathander's themes there.
It's really ominous. It doesn't sound quite so uplifting.
No, it's more of a mood setter, I thought.
Yeah, right.
But I'm fucking jonesing for a nap. Good night.
Now play classical gas.
Okay.
And as Ragyog plays everyone to sleep on the pipe organ that's lodged in the back of the carriage, you ride off into the night towards to the west through the woods, and through the night, Sunny, you occasionally spot a raven circling high overhead. Seems to be following the carriage and you all once more.
It's lucky these ravens keep flying in front of the moon. Otherwise, I think I'd struggle to see them in the dark.
And as the carriage bumps down the road, I think that's a good place to end episode 22, the intro episode, the 33 minutes of intro episode of DPR does Curse of Strahd.
You asked for it.
It was a flashback episode. We were padding. Correct.
They cheated us with cutaways and using old episode bits.
I hate it when they do that.